specific breaths. So if you'd like to sit up on something to make it a little bit more comfortable, then you're welcome to. Today I feel like sitting straddling over a bolster, so you can do whatever makes your body feel like it's easier to sit. In Sanskrit, the word for this initial seat is Sukhasana, which literally translates to easeful seat. And so that's the invitation to make sure that however you're sitting is easy on your body. The more easy we make things on our body, the easier it is on our minds. This concept of when there's agitation in the body, your mind is so focused on that agitation in the body that it can't be clear, right? It's so focused on trying to, figure out how to handle that agitation, how to handle the stiffness, the aches, the pains, maybe an actual injury, okay? And so as we purposely try to make things a little bit more easeful, that doesn't mean easy, right? So as we move through poses, the purpose of our poses is to literally create more ease in our bodies so that when we walk off of our mats and into our day, then our body feels more easy, okay? So sometimes that means a little bit of work to get through what's going on in the body. And in yoga, there's another concept of dissolving, of dissolution. And sometimes the stuck stuff, think of an injury where you've created a lot of scar tissue or really intense fascia. That scar tissue has to be worked through, and sometimes that involves heat. If you ever go to a massage therapist and they get into the fascia, then it can burn, but that's literally breaking it up. So sometimes we have to do a little work in the body to help create an easeful feeling later, okay? So as we sit, move your sitting bones, rest your hands down, and draw your shoulders up and back, lengthen up through the back of your neck, and close your eyes. And as you start to tune into a full, deep inhale and exhale, I want you to notice if you are aware of your breath, watching your inhale move from tail to crown, or if you're aware of your breath, watching it move from crown to tail. Neither is right or wrong. Just notice for yourself for a moment and let yourself naturally observe your breath the way you do, not trying to shift it. See if you can notice your breath like a wave moving throughout your body. With hands coming to connect at heart center, give a gentle press of your hands. Draw your shoulders up and back, lengthen the back of your neck. Take a full inhale here. Exhale, bow toward your heart. Softly opening your eyes, release your hands down and bring them out to a comfortable distance, wherever that is for you. And then move slowly through your spine. Think of a gentle movement like a wave up your spine and down your spine. Inhale to draw your belly and your heart forward. Exhale to press back through your spine. And if you think of a wave, it has a start and an end, but it never ends, right? So inhale, think of your pelvis tilting one way. Exhale, pelvis tilting the other way. And so as you get to the top of your spine, begin the movement again at the bottom of your spine. Inhale, belly and heart forward. Exhale, spine moves back. One more this way. Full inhale, long, deep exhale. Inhale, sit tall. Elbows come out to cactus or goalpost, depending on what you like to call it. Palms are facing forward. Move your elbows back in space, feeling your shoulder blades engage, and now engage your low ribs. Draw them in. That's filling up that space around your kidneys to support your back. Take an inhale, lift your chest, lift your heart, tilt your fingers back, elbows up. Now as you exhale, draw your low ribs in again. Now draw elbows and palms to come in together to either touch or come close to touching. Inhale, open it up, shoulder blades engaged, keep your low ribs engaged. Exhale, elbows and palms to come toward touching. Inhale, open it up. One more time, exhale, bring elbows and palms in. Inhale, open it up. Release your arms down, give them a break, roll your shoulders back. If you're sitting cross-legged, now is a great time to switch that cross. And again, feel free to add whatever propping, maybe underneath your knees or underneath your seat, so that your seat feels more easeful. Then as you come back into center now, reach your arms out long, palms are forward. Exhale, wrap one arm over the other for your hug. Walk your fingertips towards your shoulder blades. Lift your elbows up to shoulder height. And now draw shoulder blades onto your back. Engage them. Take a full breath and fill out that space in between your shoulder blades. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, switch the cross. Work your fingertips back towards your shoulder blades. Elbows lift to shoulder height. Shoulder blades engage. Big breath in between your shoulder blades. Good, now release your arms, give your shoulders movement back. Tuck your chin down. Take a couple big breaths, checking out that space at the base of your neck, top of your shoulders. Maybe you notice a little bit of your traps. And then come on back up to center. Hands come to clasp in front of you. Pull forward with your arms. Round back through your spine. Your chin tucks in. And then add that movement side to side. Give it a little bit lower into your back, into your lats. Maybe into your low back muscles here. Inhale, rise up tall. And then you're shifting forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, we're going to do a little scapular movement. And your scapula are your shoulder blades, just in case you don't know that. Because it's my job to know, not yours, unless you happen to be in the medical profession, which I know some of you are. So as you set yourself up, think of wrist creases coming parallel to the front of your mat. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. You're welcome to set something underneath your knees here if you would like. But then rotate elbow pits forward. This broadens through the tops of the shoulders and collarbones. Push and feel that expansion in between your shoulder blades. Notice the four corners of your palms pressing down. And now we're going to do scapular push-ups. So your elbows stay straight, but the movement happens from shoulder blades. So inhale, shoulder blades come toward each other. Your chest moves toward the ground. Exhale, expand in between your shoulder blades upward. Inhale, shoulder blades toward each other. Exhale, shoulder blades expand. We have about 5 more this way. And I want you to notice that sometimes if your shoulders are really tight, then A, your head might dip down, and B, you'll want to bend your elbows instead of moving through your shoulder blades. So see if you can find the movement from your shoulder blades. Even if there's some stuck stuff, notice it, recognize. One more, full inhale, long exhale. Now big toes together, knees wide, settle hips back towards your heels. And then I want you to grab whatever you happen to have for a block or something resembling a block. You can set a stack of books in front of you maybe. But then walk your elbows out onto your blocks. Your hands can come together for the moment. As you bring your hands together, start to settle your hips back. Maybe they come back to touch your heels, but then draw shoulder blades onto your back. Then inhale, rise up a little bit with your shoulders and your hips. Make fists and open your fists up like there's a wall on the outside of your arms and you're trying to move your fists toward the wall. Keep your fists wide and try to move your hips back. Then inhale, rise up, move your fists wide. Exhale, hips back. One more time, inhale, wide fists, and exhale. Good, okay. So now, go ahead and set your blocks aside. Come back to hands and knees. Find that place of wrist creases parallel to the front of your mat. Rotate elbow pits and push. Find that expansion into your upper back. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog pose. And then take a moment here to pedal out. Bend one knee at a time. As you do so, try to keep your shoulders strong and lifted. And make the movement happen from your hips, from your hamstrings, maybe a little movement there through your low back. But instead of letting a twist happen through your shoulders, try to keep them steady. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Feel free to grab blocks here for your hands if you would like. Feet are inner hip distance apart and parallel or wider. If you feel tight through hips, hamstrings, and low back, then wider is sometimes nice. Inhale and lengthen part way. Lift and spread your toes. Your hands are above your knees. And then root your toes down. Keep your chest moving forward. Try to tilt your sitting bones up. Take a big deep breath right here. Then walk your hands up your legs, rising all the way up to stand. Again, feet hip distance or wider. Take an inhale and stretch up overhead. Clasp hands, turn your palms up, and then draw shoulder blades onto your back. Take a big inhale and lift up through your front. Even think of pushing up with your palms, but keeping shoulder blades on your back. Engage your low belly and your low ribs. Take one more inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, release your hands, fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant your fingertips, stepping right foot back into your lunge. Take a big deep breath, send your left hip crease back in space. Back knee can always be on the ground here if that's better for your body this morning, but bring your hands up to your hips to rise. As you push down with your hands on your hips, lift your sides, lift your ribs, your chest. Hug your elbows back behind you, and now engage low belly, low ribs. Use an exhale to help. Inhale, lift up with your chest. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, step your left foot back. Center with your hips. Your right hip crease moves back in space. And then bring your hands up to your hips to rise. As you find this place for yourself, again, push down. And from that push, lengthen your sides. Lift your chest. Walk your hands further back. This helps to find that engagement for your shoulder blades. Lift, lift, lift through your chest. Exhale, low belly, low ribs, engage. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Inhale, step forward, and exhale, fold over your legs. Keep a little softness to your knees here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Hands to hips. Pressing back on your hips, start to extend your chest, lifting shoulders up and back, and rise all the way up to standing. Find your feet inner hip distance apart and parallel again. And again, if you find that your hips need a little bit more space, then walk your feet out a little wider. Hands come behind your back to clasp. And as you do so, I'll turn sideways so that you can see. I have not done anything with my shoulders yet, and so the tops of my shoulders are aimed down, okay? So what I want to do here to make space in my shoulder girdle is lift the heads of my arm bones, my tops of shoulders up and back. Now with that, my elbows stay bent and hugging back toward each other. My palms stay pressing together. Take an inhale and start to lift up with your chest, lift up with your heart. Exhale, low belly, low ribs, draw in. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, now bend your knees and fold over your legs. As you do so, your arms can always come away from your back, but I want you to try to keep your shoulders lifted up and back. Palms pressing toward each other, elbows bent. Take one more big breath right here. Releasing your hands down, step right foot back into your lunge. Turn and plant your back heel so that your foot's parallel to the back of your mat, and then inhale, rise up to a warrior two place. So our hips are facing the right side. Your front knee is opening up. So think of your glute helping it turn toward your pinky toe edge. Now inhale, lift up through your sides. Exhale, low belly, low ribs, draw in. Inhale, lift your sides. Exhale, bend just a little deeper into your front knee. Take your gaze over your front fingers, one more deep breath. Next exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat and step all the way back either to hands and knees or downward facing dog pose. Wherever that is for you, wrist creases parallel to the front of your mat and push down through four corners of your palms, all your fingertips. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. As you push, if you're in your down dog, think of pushing all the way from your lats. If you're on your hands and knees, then think of expanding into your upper back. Now, sway hips side to side, whether that's on hands and knees or in down dog. Lengthening from hip to armpit. And now walk your feet forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips, you're stepping left foot back this time into your lunge. Turn and plant your back heel. And then inhale, rise up to your warrior two. As you come up to your warrior two, again, your front knee is opening up and bending. Lift your ribs, your sides, your heart. Take a full big breath and take your gaze over your right fingers. And in particular, your right middle finger is your drishti, or your focal point. Big breath. Exhaling, both hands come down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step forward. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Inhale, this time reach your arms wide and rise all the way up, keeping knees soft. Exhale, hands come to your heart. With hands at your heart, now press. Palms together so much that your elbows lift. Then draw shoulders up and back. Lengthen up through the back of your neck. Good, inhale, stretch up. Clasp hands above your head and press up. Draw shoulder blades onto your back. Take an inhale and lift up through your ribs. Exhale, low belly, low ribs, draw in. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, release your hands, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips, step right foot back into your lunge. Push, feet into the ground, bring your hands up to your hips and rise. Center off your hips. Lift your sides, and now hands come behind you to clasp. And if your body is saying, oh no, this is enough work on my shoulders today, then listen to that and maybe keep your hands at your hips instead, okay? So elbows stay bent, hugging back toward each other, shoulders lift. Take a big deep breath right here. Keep your left hip crease moving back in space. And now exhale, hinge from your hips, folding toward the front of your mat. From this place, you can stay right here if you would like to, or use your back foot to help you rise up to come balanced onto your front leg, coming into your warrior three. Rotate your left hip, or your right hip rather, down, lift your chest, engage low belly, low ribs. Deep breath. Soft exhale, step back with your right foot into your lunge. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, hands come all the way down to the front of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog pose. Take a deep breath. Next exhale, knees come down, hips to heels. Take a child's pose. Full deep inhale, long full exhale. Then inhale, rise to hands and knees. Find that rotation of upper arm bones and a push. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose. Full big breath. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale, lengthen partway. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips, left foot steps back this time into your lunge. Center with your hips and then rise up, bringing hands to your hips. Pause here, press down and find lots of lift through your sides. Then take hands behind a clasp if that's in your practice and hug your elbows back. Press your palms. Take a big inhale, lengthen again. Lengthen the back of your neck. Exhale, hinge from your hips, folding towards your front leg. Pause, you might stay right here, or you might use your back foot to help you bump to rise up. And that could be more of a standing upright, toes touch behind you, or that can be more of your warrior three, lifting your back leg. Take a deep breath. Full exhale as you softly step back into your lunge. Big inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat and step back. Downward facing dog, full breath. Lower all the way to your knees, hips back to heels. And this time, if you want to, you can reach your arms back alongside your body as you rest your head down on something, whether it's the floor or a block. Let your shoulders drape toward the floor if that feels good. Deep breath. And now gently push yourself up to your seat. And you're gonna come all the way down to sitting bones. And then locate your blanket. Mine's a little bit of a thin one today. But if you have a thicker blanket, then that actually will probably work better for most everybody. If you have a smaller bolster, you can do it with that instead if you want to. But find a roll with your blanket, and you're gonna set that so that you can lay over it with your entire spine and release your arms out. Take cactus with your arms if that feels good, and take a big breath into that space in between your shoulder blades. Palms are facing the ceiling here. And again, you can always have this be on top of a smaller bolster if you would like. But we're gonna start to take a little bit of movement through our arms. So with your arms in this cactus, engage your hands and then lead from your elbows. Start to draw your elbows up toward each other until maybe they connect, maybe they don't. Take a big breath here, fill up that space in between your shoulder blades. And then inhale, open it up. Exhale, elbows lead here as you start to draw your forearms toward each other. Take a big breath. Inhale, open it up. One more time, exhale, elbows lead to come to connect forearms. Big breath. And then inhale, open it up. And now simply pause here, take a full breath into that space in between your shoulder blades. Just notice what's present for you. And now gently roll over to one side, move your blanket aside or your bolster aside, whatever you happen to be using. And now pick your knees up towards your chest and wrap left leg over your right. And you might come to wrap your left toes around your right calf, or you might just cross at the thighs, okay? So wherever that is for you, take just a moment here with eagle legs to take a big breath and notice how it feels. And now take your legs over to the right side, and you might grab a pillow or bolster or block to go underneath your legs for a little support here. A little spinal twist. You can open your arms up to that T, or you can always take your right hand to your left thigh for a little bit of support. Take such a big breath that you feel your left ribs expand more. Then inhale, rise back up, uncross your legs and cross the other way. Right leg over your left. And again, maybe you hook your right toes around your left calf. Maybe you prep a pillow or bolster for the left side. And then drop your legs over to the left. Again, arms can be at cactus, or you can always take your left hand to your top leg. Take a big breath, fill out your right ribs. And now inhale, back up to center. Uncross your legs. You can set your footprints on the ground. You can start to take a prop underneath your legs here if you would like. You can let your legs rest down or your knees can stay bent. Grab that rolled up blanket that you were using underneath your neck if you would like to. You don't have to do this. And then rest it. Rest your head down. And then start to move your head side to side. A little shaking of your head no toward the ceiling. And then nodding to the left side. And then nodding to the right side. And then back into center, let your head rest. Eyes closed here if it's comfortable. And let yourself start to find that restful, easeful place of Shavasana. If you need, you can always adjust something. If you need to add an extra prop or take one away. But very purposely come to an easeful place here where your body can settle. Begin to take a deeper breath. Add some gentle movement into fingers and into toes. And as you're ready to bend your knees, slowly make your way over to one side, whichever side feels the best to your body. Using as little energy as you can, gently press yourself up to a seat. Finding that easeful place for yourself, and again, that could mean sitting up on something. Then connect palms together at heart center. And with your eyes closed, take a moment again to notice your breath. And notice for yourself if you're aware of it from your tail to crown on the inhale, or from crown to tail on the inhale. Neither is right or wrong. Just notice for yourself. Have a very peaceful, very beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.